May 28th. Moscow is in a panic. A hurricane is tearing down houses. Fires are destroying neighborhoods.
Back! Back! Back!
Oh, the little fir tree caught fire. The wind is blowing like crazy. Everything is burning. This is terrible. Everything is burning.
Russia is suffocating from hurricanes and fires. Dozens of settlements are trapped in a ring of fire.
My house caught fire.
Muscovites and other Russians are trying to fight the disaster on their own. People have been left without help from the authorities. The raging fires have left thousands of Russians without electricity, heat, or homes.
Everything is burning.
Since 11 o'clock in the morning, 2 fire sources have formed.
One came from the direction of Zeleny, the second source is in Kalinino on Planetnaya Street.
Transition to residential buildings. As you can see, we're handling it ourselves right now.
Putin's Ministry of Emergency Situations abandoned the Russians. There's no help from the Ministry of Emergency Situations and no evacuation from dangerous areas.
That's it. Our green forest is gone.
And now we begin. Boom, bada, boom, burn, burn bright, so you don't go out.
Holy shit, the wind is blowing.
The boiler house.
Maybe we should try to put it out from the side where it's smaller.
Friends, please like this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dasha. Write a few kind words in support of Ukraine in the comments and also let us know where you're watching from. Like, comment, subscribe. And we're getting started. At this moment, the fire has engulfed more than 1,200 homes belonging to the occupiers. It's impossible to reach emergency services. The phone lines are overloaded. The hurricane-force wind is tearing roofs off houses. Many cities have been left without electricity. The wind is snapping power lines. The fire has come right up to the highways.
That's a good engine.
According to the weather forecast, the squally wind will continue today and tomorrow.
So we need to be prepared to prevent the squall and its consequences.
Back.
In this kind of weather, any discarded match, cigarette, or broken glass can turn into a real disaster, which in fact is exactly what we're witnessing today. Because the main cause of the fires we're seeing today, there are already more than 40 of them, is of course human error.
More than 50 fires across over 100 hectares of Russian land. This is divine punishment for the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In this way, nature punishes the Russians, the murderers, and war criminals.
There is a threat of the wildfire spreading. You need to gather your important documents and belongings and leave the cooperative.
The fire advanced like a wall. Houses burned down in 10 minutes.
Looks like they're setting it on fire.
Look at what's happening.
There's nothing left.
Pretty hot.
But at least the wild rosemary is beautiful.
It's absolutely impossible to get through these thickets.
We have cameras on the dumpster and at the entrance.
But no one showed up on the cameras because apparently they came from the forest and set fire to the last plot. Yes, it was definitely arson.
What date was it?
It happened on the night of May 9th to 10th at 1 in the morning.
Yes.
That's why we went over everything with the owners, and things like a fire from a barbecue or something like that are completely ruled out.
The owners were there, they grilled kebabs at 6 in the evening, closed everything up, doused everything with water, and only left at 10 o'clock.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And the fire started at 20 to 1 at night.
It's 20 to 1 at night.
Yes.
And what did you do next?
Well, what did we do?
We put out the fire, and in the morning contacted our firefighters, the ones who supervise us and advise us on what to do.
They said that maybe, if possible, investigators would come and take a look.
Well, then we contacted the police.
And now the police have also officially reported this incident.
So yesterday we organized a patrol together with neighboring cooperatives.
Those are Energetic, Nadezhda, and Svetofor.
About 30 of our people showed up.
35 people.
We always have water on our plots. Every plot is connected to the water supply.
People came out with equipment.
So we are constantly monitoring here. We keep an eye on our area and the access to the forest.
Yesterday we opened it up so the fire truck could get into the forest. We have a barrier there, so unnecessary vehicles don't come this way.
We know all our people.
That's why from Sosnovi all the way up to the very top, we monitored the road yesterday to make sure there were no outsiders.
And we took care of all those issues.
The women were also working with your unit?
Yes, that's Tamara Nikolaevna from plot 58. I kind of know everyone.
If you look, if everything here had burned down, a specialist would have come and said, well, they were drinking here, doing something, burned everything down, and so on.
But it all turned out to be untouched.
And they set the fire exactly where the stains got in.
From under the fence, that's the thing. You can see it was from under the fence, right?
Because you see, nothing is burned under the grill. These aren't drug addicts, these are skilled people.
All right.
So, well, let's go discuss our decisions.
Thank you for...
Sorry, guys.
Rural settlement, there is currently a forest fire covering an area of 1,000 hectares. A group of 120 people and 37 pieces of equipment have been deployed. The State Fire Supervision is conducting an investigation into the fire. The cause of the fire and the exact amount of damage are being determined.
Everything is burning. Everything that can possibly burn is burning. You can't see anything.
This is my whole life here. I truly put so much of myself into it, and now I have nothing left.
Look, cars are fleeing because their tires are melting from the fire.
Holy shit! Man!
I don't have my passport. We have nothing. Everything we owned burned down. We only managed to save ourselves.
This is karma. There is a state of emergency in Russia. More than 150,000 Russians are without power. A large-scale evacuation has begun.
The roads are blocked. Everything is closed. There's no way to get anywhere.
Massive fires and hurricanes.
Here is the Siragash district.
Fire is burning right along the road.
Dozens of villages are engulfed in flames. The fire has come dangerously close to major cities. The most difficult situation is in Krasnoyarsk Krai and the Republic of Khakassia.
They're honking. We're running away because the flames are coming toward us. Oh my God. Just like that, right here. There it is, the flames right next to us.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
People are being swept away. Houses are being destroyed. A hurricane-force wind has hit several regions of Russia at once, and powerful fires are destroying Siberia.
This is my whole life here. I put so much into it, and now I have nothing left.
When everyone in the world is now writing, well, yes, Ukraine lost. Now the only question is how? Well, here's the map, like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. How exactly did they lose? That's the only question now, right? They miscalculated.
Well, Leonid, before I hand the floor over to you, I'd just like to take a moment to play, well, perhaps, if I may, in honor of the anniversary, you know, if you will, that very well-known celebratory toast by Comrade Stalin. If I might add.
Comrades, allow me to propose, if I may, one more final and heartfelt toast. I would very much like to raise a toast to the continued health and well-being of our Soviet people, and above all, to the great Russian people. I drink, first and foremost, to the health of the Russian people, because they are the most outstanding nation among all the nations that make up the Soviet Union. I raise a toast to the health of the Russian people because in this war they have earned universal recognition as the leading force of the Soviet Union among all the peoples of our country. I raise a toast to the health of the Russian people, not only because they are, without a doubt, the leading nation, but also because they possess a clear mind, steadfast character, and patience. Our government made quite a few significant mistakes. There were moments of desperate situation for us in 1941, 1942, when our army was retreating, leaving behind our native villages and cities in Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, the Leningrad region, the Baltic states, and the Karelo-Finnish Republic. They left because there was no other choice. Other people might perhaps have said to the government, "You have not lived up to our expectations. Step aside. We will put in another government that will indeed make peace with Germany and bring us peace." But the Russian people did not do this because they believed in the correctness of their government's policy and were willing to make sacrifices to ensure the defeat of Germany. And this trust of the Russian people in the Soviet government turned out to be the decisive force that ensured the historic victory over the enemy of humanity, over fascism. Thank you sincerely and wholeheartedly to the Russian people for this trust.
Well, obviously,
to the health and well-being of the Russian people.
Obviously, our artificial intelligence still can't reproduce Stalin's voice, even remotely, unfortunately. But the logic is clear. The demand for victory comes from the people and can be ensured solely by the will of the people.
As for today's VV, the Commander-in-Chief Vladimir Vladimirovich, he is a single person on whom almost the entire weight of our history rests. If it weren't for him, we would have found plenty of traitors, plenty of people eager to surrender to the West. Today he bears a great burden of responsibility for the existence of Russian civilization. If you've noticed, deacons mention not only by name we commemorate only the Holy Patriarch and the Commander-in-Chief, the head of our state, God's servant Vladimir. We also mention him by name because right now everything rests on his shoulders. He is like a galley slave chained to the oars, rowing this boat called Russia, not letting it crash. Do you understand? While we're relaxing there, everything has been done for us. Moscow is beautiful, polished. There are flowers, ice cream, free concerts, scooters, and boats sailing along the Moscow River. And at the same time, somewhere on the front line, a 19-year-old boy bleeding out is defending himself, shooting back with his comrade against superior enemy forces. And somewhere in some office, someone is working without sleep, without rest, without a break, so that we can live while we, like drones, eat, drink, dress up, stroll around, and have fun. And at this very moment, someone is fighting for us, building, crying, praying, dying, enduring pain, and so on and so forth. Christians must understand that we are all debtors. We live on borrowed time.
in general, so to speak, I absolutely agree with the degree of drama here. I also believe that this is a national disaster. The other thing is, I don't see any way out at all. I don't believe in any ideology whatsoever. The only thing I keep suggesting on Solovyov Live is, let's just cancel pensions to hell. If you have children and raise them, then you'll have something to eat in your old age. If not, you'll die.
And many girls actually marry Muslims because the men there propose rather quickly, while our guys, these vegetables, just go to barbershops and the gym, right? And it's always something. Either they don't have money, or they haven't figured things out yet, or it's work, or their mom won't let them. Seriously, just like this vegetable warehouse, you know, with the tricolor flag. I have so many acquaintances whose girls married, say, migrants from Asia who came here and so on. They got married because they were actually proposed to. Already, you know, just out of desperation.
Between May 20th and May 22nd, the enemy attempted to carry out a massive strike using fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles against the territory of the Russian Federation. During this period, air defense systems destroyed 1,177 enemy unmanned aerial vehicles.
And during this attack, the president of Russia was working in the Kursk region.
That's absolutely correct. During the time when the president was working in the Kursk region, the enemy launched an unprecedented attack using unmanned aerial vehicles. The air defense group in this area destroyed 46 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. I would like to point out that the intensity of the attack increased significantly while the Supreme Commander-in-Chief's aircraft was flying over the Kursk region. Therefore, we simultaneously engaged in an air defense battle and ensured the safety of the President's helicopter in the air. The mission was accomplished. The enemy's drone attack was repelled and all aerial targets were destroyed.
So, the President's helicopter was actually in the combat zone?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, it was right at the epicenter of repelling the enemy's massive drone strike.
Russia continues to work on a draft memorandum regarding a future peace treaty, outlining a number of positions such as the principles of settlement, possible timelines for concluding a peace agreement, and the potential for a temporary ceasefire if, I emphasize, the relevant agreements are reached. As soon as the memorandum is prepared, and I want to note that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is literally commenting on the progress of its development every day, it will be sent to Kyiv. We expect that the Ukrainian side is carrying out similar work and will send us their proposals at the same time as they receive the Russian document. So against what backdrop, or rather in what context, is all of this taking place? We are currently observing increasingly destructive statements from Zelensky, who, instead of seeing or listening to those who are genuinely trying to focus on at least some constructive steps or any tangible results, begins to escalate this aggressive rhetoric even further and repeatedly tries to shift the blame onto Russia for, as he puts it, prolonging the ongoing conflict.
Again, addressing the commanders of units who are sending NBS fighters into assaults. But these fighters are not combat ready. In the first place, they won't accomplish the mission. Because this fighter who is not combat ready, even if he were to die himself, well, I don't mean to say anything against him personally. No, it's just that he will let down the entire unit. He needs to be, so to speak, part of a unified unit, a strong unit. But if he's there, one leg on a crutch, the other with a rifle, just trying to survive, he's not really thinking about accomplishing the mission. He's more focused on how to save himself, and he won't get the job done. And he'll let down the whole unit. That's why I'll say it again. That's not how you accomplish a mission. That's not how you win wars.
Yeah.
It's like in the army. Those who know how to fight should be the ones fighting. Then
listen, if we announce mobilization right now, honestly, do you think we'll get the required number of, combat-ready people?
Yes, of course. Of course, we'll get enough people. The other question is...
Even if, I'll say it again, even if they haven't used, for example, the National Guard, that's hundreds of thousands of people. And if you send even 10 or 20% of them to the front, then yes.
And the most important thing is this. We need to cancel these decrees from July of 23, which I consider constitutional and do not bring victory closer. I mean the increase of the maximum service age limit to 65 years. And most importantly, the indefinite contracts. Even if they make the contracts short term now, maybe mobilization won't even be necessary. When a recruit knows that in any case he'll return home, well, if he survives, right? He has a specific term. For example, his term ends on September 1st and then he can go home. If he wants, he can sign up again. If not, then it's just goodbye. If things work like they do in volunteer units, then maybe mobilization won't even be needed. There will be an even bigger wave of people wanting to go to the front, especially if they're...
Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dasha Shastlivaya. We work for an audience all over the world so that people know the truth about Russian aggression, about Russia's war against Ukraine. That's why every like, every comment and every subscription helps ensure that as many people as possible around the world see this video. Stay with us, stay on the bright side. Friends, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.